they know that all of the people from the land went southeast. We going to fight Gullah wars. Fuck your castles. What good is your castle if your people get slaughtered?
Right.
So we came out of our castles all over the land. They all over the land. They old as hell, but they trying to tell us that they all was built around the early 1900s.
Yeah, that's a damn lie. You know that.
That's a lie of convenience, because now you don't have to answer for the labor.
That's right.
Nobody has to answer for the labor force required to build such elaborate structures.
You damn sure right.
Okay, so now in the early 1900s, who the fuck was coming over here? Ellis Island was on full pump.
Right.
Yeah, that's the history of Alcatraz, but I can't read it.
Yeah, it said that the group of Mayans were controlling this island, Mayans. And they said
so they even telling you what clan that the royalty that was there, what clan they was from. Now we talking Queen Califia. Right, that's Leah.
You know, that could have been Queen Khalifa Island, man. What she was having her castle, her big castle, how she ruled from.
It's totally possible, because that's what California is named after.
Yeah.
Right. Now, remember, you got two cities of the sun. You got LA and Miami.
Okay.
Two sunshine states, California and Florida.
Yeah.
Right. Both of them got a Hollywood.
Yeah.
Both of them have a Disney World.
Yeah, that's right. Both of them grow oranges in the spot, tropical fruit.
Oranges, grapefruits, lemons, and limes. Right? So now everything that was going on in Florida is going on in California. That's what they telling us.
Yeah.
Business as usual. The dumb niggas ain't gonna figure it out. Ain't none of them gonna figure out that while they was all leaving to go fight the war in the Gullah Wars, the Geechee Wars, the Gullah Geechee Wars, while we was all fighting them in Florida, they was clocking which clans was leaving they dwellings vacant. Remember, I told you they turned Big Mama house into the big house on the plantation.
Having no allowance. I got some more picture. Here go a picture of one of the castles and how it was built too.
Those are called longhouse style. Those are barracks, and we used to build like that. We didn't live far away from lions, tigers, and bears. Well, not necessarily lions, but yeah, mountain lions.
Bears,
cool.
yeah, mountain lions.
But the mountain lions, the tigers, the bear, not the tigers, the bears, the wolverines, all that shit ran the land. We didn't interfere with them, so we built shit like this to keep them out.
Yeah, this right here, this definitely takes you. It looks similar to the how Mansa Musa was laying his stuff out. Hold on, I got a couple more. Hey, we got about 23 minutes. We got to start taking questions in about 5 more minutes. So get your questions together for the brother. Let me see. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. We can go up here. These are some time I found that were turned into prisons. And these are all in America. All these castles in America. It's a shitload of castles in America, man. And they telling you this shit.
Man, I keep singing this song till I'm blue in the face. That we was royalty over here. We believed in the adornments of nature was more beautiful than the adornments of man. We didn't wear crowns. We wore feathers.
You know another thing too? Then Martin Lawrence, when he fit in that movie Black Knights, then he go back into medieval times in America, not in the overseas. Because he was in America when he went through that thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's totally possible.
Yeah. And he was in the castles, and they was talking about, and they was calling him more up in that damn tape too.
Yeah, he was getting on his nerve too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he said, "Oh, you keep on calling me more." Yeah, you sure right. He kept on saying, "Yeah, you're right." Oh shit, I'm about to go back and watch that again, man. I'm about to go. Oh shit, he just started some shit, right? So I'm about to go back and watch that again. He was getting irritated about it.
So when I tell the people that we had castles on the land, they turned our castles into prison. Just like they turned Big Mama house from orphanage into a goddamn plantation.
Hey,
So,
go ahead.
So the Lewis and Clark expedition is what declared the land vacant.
Okay.
Now, using the salvage law, they can exercise a squatter's right, and then they can start dividing the land up in what they call the Northwest Territory.
Man, that's crazy. So let me put this together in my head so far to sum here what we're talking about. All right, so we built these castles. We were living in these castles, royalty. When the war started, when they was trying to steal our people land, we went to go help them on the east, like Noble Drew Ali was pointing, saying that they came from the left side. We went to the left to go help these people, and when we left, they came and squatted on our property, on our castles, and said, "Oh, they left them."
Right. They said, "There, look, this is how it sounds. Something like this. There's no royalty here. All of the castles are vacant."
What? Go ahead, man.
All right. Now that they declare the castles vacant, who's going to exercise the jurisdiction over their salvage claim?
That's right.
Right. The salvage claim falls under Uniform Commercial Code as a business transaction, and the Uniform Commercial Code ties you right back into the papal bulls.
Yeah.
The Sanctum bull, pull it up. Let's go.
Sanctum bull. I got you. The Sanctum.
It's unum, UN,
okay, unum. Okay, UN.
UM. New word, SA.
I got you.
NCTUM. And then go to all. Read what it say.
It says the Unctum Sanctum is a papyrus bull that was issued by Pope Boniface the 18 November 1302. It laid down dogmatics proposition on the unity of the Catholic Church, the necessities belonging to it for. Hold on, I gotta blow finish what it said right here. Where is it? For internal salvation, the position of the Pope as supreme head of the church, and the duties tending arising to submit to the Pope, to belong to the church, and thus to attain salvation. The Pope
emphasized higher position of the spiritual in comparison with the secular order. The historian Brian Tierney calls it probably the most famous document on church and state in medieval Europe. The original document is lost, but versions of the text can be found in the register of Boniface VIII in the Vatican archives. The bull was the definitive statement of the late medieval theory of hierarchy, which is aristocracy, which is hereditary rights, which argue for the temporal as well as spiritual supremacy of the Pope. Now, see where it say temporal, right?
Yeah.
And then it say as well as spiritual supremacy. The word temporal, click on it.
Okay.
Because they got it highlighted for a reason. The temporal power of the Holy See designates the political and secular influence of the Holy See, the leading of a state by the Pope and Catholic Church as distinguished from its spiritual or pastoral activity. So this is the claiming to you separate from the religion, right? So yeah, that's called a 3-tier crown.
Yeah, you broke that down. It's the same Pope. It's the same crown that the Ethiopian Christian Coptic niggas be wearing. And
that's where they got it from.
Yeah,
they stole it from them. So when they was telling us that they burned down the libraries of Alexander, right? Who was supposed to do that?
Right, go ahead.
Ask Google, who burned down Alexandria? So this is the war between Rome rising to power, trying to put down the Greco-Egyptian collaboration to fight them back. Look, gay ass Julius Caesar. You know his first name is Gaius, right?
Yeah, Gaius.
Yeah, I always call him gay ass because that's how I sound. All right, now it's a pursuit of the property. No, it's in pursuit of Pompeii into Egypt in 48 BCE. Caesar, I can't read, it's too little.
The Caesar was cut off by the large fleet of Egyptian boats in the harbor of Alexandria. He ordered the boats to be burned. The fleet was destroyed, but the flames spread through the city and the library.
It just so happened to spread to the library.
Yeah, right. They
okay, now
doing shit like this.
If you pull up the book Unto Thee I Grant. Unto Thee, THE.
Okay. The dude's name is
Unto Thee, UNTO, new word. Right there, the first one. Okay, economy of life. It don't matter which one you click on, they all the same. Okay. The one I got is the brown one though.
Right here, the first one?
Yeah.
All right, let me save it. You got the brown one like that one, or this brown one like this one?
There's actually the actual book is in the second row.
Golden Trade of the Moors. Let me say that. I'm gonna come back to that. Might have something to do with the shit you talking about.
Okay, in this book right here, it's a picture of a monk standing in front of a whole bunch of ancient scrolls in Tibet. And the guy that they get a credit for translating this, Ramathario, he went to get it from the Tibetan monks. The Unto Thee I Grant is in the Circle 7 in parts called Holy Instructions from the Prophet.
What? Go ahead.
All right. This was originally written, according to the introduction, by Amenhotep III in Egypt. And the scrolls were sent to Tibet to be kept by the monks for posterity. That's what it's saying in the introduction. Okay, now, the reference was for the picture of the monk in front of the scrolls. Right? I don't know if they show any of the inside of the book or if they're going to show that. But
no, they probably don't.
Look at put photos between Grant and inside. There you go. See the old man right there at the bottom with the scroll in his hand?
Yeah, right there.
That's it right there.
They save him. They blow him up for you. And once I get that hard drive, because I'm gonna be able to organize all your classes, they're gonna be lit.
Read what it said at the bottom. Chief Lama.
Chief Lama, Abbott.
Or Abbott.
Abbott. I can't see this. Bakelin? I can't
holding see ancient scroll inside Lamazri of Tibet frontier.
Yeah.
That's the ancient mystic order of the Rose and Cross right there. Okay, now look, you see the scrolls, how they keep them?
Yeah, right here.
Every major earth text that has a significant impact on culture is there. Every major earth tome you don't even know exists.
What?
Now, this is what the Library of Alexandria was made like, similar to this. They didn't keep theirs like this. They kept double-rolled scrolls and palm leaf parchments, and that's what it was. All of these scrolls that they had duplicates made in Alexandria that they kept in Rome. So when they was burning down Alexandria, they already knew that they had secured the information for the youth in Rome safe and secure. So now they're safe to burn down Alexandria.
Makes sense.
So in one of the books I was reading on the ancient priesthood, pyramid priesthood, right? It said that the pyramid priests left with the scrolls by the dark of night.
Wow. I heard that before. Go ahead.
And then it said they went east. Well, we know if you're in Egypt, in Cairo, or in Alexandria, and you go east, you're going toward Jerusalem.
Yep.
Right? Now, why would they go east on land to take it to the Pope in Rome?
Go ahead.
Because you can't go by boat because they're fighting on the water.
Yeah.
So you have to go east to go around the Mediterranean to get back to Rome on the other side.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right? So this is why they left with the scrolls going east, taking them to the Vatican. That's how we know where they went. Right? Because they didn't show up anywhere but Egypt. And the ones that went to Tibet left scrolls there. Now Tibet is southeast to Egypt. And to the north, you have Rome, but it's separated by the Mediterranean. So you just said they was fighting and they was burning down the boats, remember?
Yeah.
So that's supposed to cause the fire jumped across the water onto the land and burned down the building. Make that shit make sense, Elder. How did water jump out the water? How did fire jump out the water and burn down the village?
Right. Right. That don't even make it. They don't even, unless they shooting Bob. Unless the niggas had rockets or something back then. I'm gonna pull this picture right here because it shows that map you looking for. Right here. Damn. What the hell? There you go.
You see where it say Alexandria at?
Yeah.
Now that's the only way you can get there going east is you got to go around the landlocked.
Yeah, right here. Matter of fact, they had to go around the Black Sea really too. Go this way, like this.
Now remember, when Hannibal
right there.
Hannibal went through France into Italy, coming from Macedonia in that area. Right? And it was a nigga in the Senate that sold out Hannibal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? Hannibal needed more supplies. He had Rome defeated. And when he sent for more supplies, the senator was like, fuck him, let him find his way home.
Damn, it looked like a boot too right there.
Yeah, that's Italy. So now, when he left his stronghold to secure Rome, Rome had sent armies through Spain across the Pillars of Hercules to invade Carthage. Now, Hannibal was scurrying back, coming around the other way, and then he got some soldiers catching ships across the Mediterranean in order to get back to the homeland because they was under siege by Rome. Right? And that's what caused Carthage to fall to Rome. That nigga looked like us, but he ain't us, and sold us out.
Yeah, sold us out, man. Get them niggas right. So Sicily, right here, you know, African, no Nubians was there, man.
Right. The thing about Sicily is when Hannibal's army was in France, Italy, all up in there, they was having babies with the villagers close by. So they was sending them all to Sicily to keep Hannibal's soldiers' children safe. That's why all of them are so heavily melanated in Sicily.
That's right.
Right? That's the offspring of Hannibal's people. Now remember, Egypt settled Europe starting from the island of Crete. You see the island of Crete right there in the middle, right there. That's the first school in Europe was built there for Europeans.
Well, go ahead.
All right. Now, from Tuscany, which is roughly where Rome is on the map, the Etruscans settled Tuscany And the Tuscany or the Etruscans who lived in Tuscany became the progenitors of Rome. They took over from Alexander by taking and merging the Greece and Roman empires. Now, if you look, that says it's a Greco-Roman Empire. Greece is first, which most people would think that mean they won.
Yeah.
But they couldn't have won in Rome. So if he was born in 7 AD, he lived 33 years, right? That's 40 AD. Not until 325 did something form called the Nicene Council. Now, the Nicene Council was formed in Rome, right? So, who the fuck is Rome? Who is the Roman soldiers? Keep this in mind when you ponder this story. Who the fuck is Rome? In the BC period, they had a conqueror in Greece by the name of Alexander. Now, the history books say that Alexander was chosen by God, right? And it was from Alexander's conquest of the Indus Valley did they establish a methodology for ruling, and the doctrine is called the Republic, right? So when you go study the Republic, in the history of the Republic, it was pontificated upon in the what they used to call it when they used to have a word. Before it was called debate, it was called rhetoric. So in the rhetoric, the rhetoric that was being tossed around on the Senate floors of Rome was called a republic. Now, they call this government over here a democratic republic. Republic means ruled by law. Democracy supposed to mean ruled by the people. A democratic republic is the people establish a law that governs the entirety of the land, right? So now, in Rome, they changed the gender of God. Well, right, what the fuck you mean in Rome? They changed the gender of God. Which God gender was switched? Why did they switch that one? And how can you show me? It's real simple. They tell us we in hell already, right? Hell is Helen. Helen settled Greece before the Etruscans settled Rome. I'm gonna let that sink in. The Etruscan, the Hellenists were Egyptians of the I-10 priests, the same family and blood as Tut, right? Same family and blood as King Tut. All right, except in like 12 BC to 7 BC, somewhere up in there, you got this love affair and this queen named Cleopatra trying to hold on to the rulership rights of Egypt as Rome is advancing to conquer. So she got two dudes she's dealing with, Mark Antony, and she's dealing with I forgot that motherfucker name. Brutus. No, Caesar. Julius Caesar. One of them fucking Caesars, them gay ass motherfuckers. Anyway, so Cleopatra trying to hold on to the matriarchy. Right now, when Rome get the control of the deities, right? They change Helen. They change Helen from a female in Greece to a male in Rome. All you gotta do is put it side by side. Roman pantheon, Greek pantheon. The Greek culture is called Hellenistic culture. The Roman culture is called Greco
Roman culture. Because Rome conquered Greece, but they put Greece first in order to delude the minds of the people into believing that Greece conquered Rome. Why would they want to do that? All right, so now, we're just going to follow the narrative they're giving us. I'm just going over the story in broad strokes, because this shit detailed in a motherfucker. I'm using broad strokes. All right, now, 325, right? Subtract 40 from 325, you get 285 years since the so-called crucifixion took place. That's if he was born in 7 AD. Now, the true math is the key to unlock the Christ code, but that's not where we at right now. So in 325, they assembled the Nicene Council. They got all of the leaders in one room, right? These leaders were mystics, priests, they call pagan ritual leaders, basically coven leaders, male and female. But the council erased any female that was in there. So you won't never know that it was women in the Nicene Council unless you can remote view it. Now, in the Nicene Council, they established something that they call the Nicene Creed. Look that shit up. Now, this is in the 300s. The Etruscans is taking over, they establish in Rome, in Europe. Once Rome is established, Europe go into what they call the Dark Ages. Now remember, they said that the Moors civilized Europe. They taught them art, science, music, they taught them philosophy, religion. They penned Latin as a language. Greek was penned by Egyptian priests. Latin was penned by Etruscan Moorish priests. I understand the difference. Okay, now, they got a scholarly language now, in 725 or the 700s in the AD period. So we're talking 400 years of Catholic Church domination before they can get enough stronghold in Europe to bring them in mass. So the history books tell us the Moors, the Etruscans, went into Europe in the Dark Ages around 700, and they occupied Europe all the way up until 1611 when their final stronghold over Europe was broken. This is the story. This is the history they gave us. Now, in this story that they telling us, a couple of things is happening over this, from the 700s to the 1600s. So we're talking almost 1,000 years, 900 and some years of occupation by the Moors, right? Why in the fuck did they get kicked out of Europe if they were civilizing these people? And where in the fuck did they go? And why did they go there? Right? Nobody not asking none of them questions. They're just following the narrative that they gave us. Okay, so we're going to follow the narrative. In 1611, they finally got the stronghold broke. And they kicked them all out. Right? Why are they kicking these people out of Europe? What are they doing over there after you get done civilizing somebody? Now they so civilized, how did they kick them out? Right? Ask the question. How did they get the Moors kicked out of Europe? Spanish motherfucking Inquisition, the motherfucking, all of the rebellions to the crown in Europe caused them to put in what they call a fictitious royal family, a cat's paw, a figurehead, a face, a front. Where did these motherfuckers go? All of them didn't leave Europe. Many of them end up going into seclusion, right? In the Depression Mountains with all of the motherfucking gold. What the fuck is Depression Mountains? If you go back, there was an empire that was called Prussia in the north of Europe. The Prussian Empire is where you get your Khazarians, mulattoes, Moorish, European hybrid children from. Right? Now, you got to understand what's taking place all over the world at the time. At this time, Rome is fighting the Huns, Rome is fighting Mongolians, and Rome is still fighting off the Babylonian empires. Like 36 motherfuckers. So now all this shit going on, they capturing POWs in warfare. From the Huns, from the Mongolians, and from the Hindus of Hindustan that wasn't India yet. Now, in the middle of this, in 1492, some motherfucker named Christopher Columbus supposed to discover America. I'm gonna let y'all marinate on that.